Do you love variegated succulents? If so, this video is just for you. I am going to do a tour of my variegated shelf today. I've got some absolute beauties and I've added quite a lot to my collection this year. So I'm actually going to be arranging my greenhouse later today. It's going to take me hours, so I thought I'd just film this before I rearrange and make such a mess. But I'm actually going to be filming that video as well. So if that's something you'd like to see, please subscribe and you'll get notifications obviously of when that's uploaded. So let's get into it. Let's have a look what absolutely beautiful plants I've got in my collection. So if you haven't seen my collection before, this is just a kind of overview of the greenhouse. So I've got 4 different shelves, one completely full at the top, middle one kind of half full, and then a few little dotted around, which are kind of project succulents, I would say. And then I have my variegated shelf up here. So I have just put a big kind of umbrella over to shade it because it's so hot in here at the minute. And I also have extra shading up here for my variegated ones. And I mentioned that I'm going to be rearranging them today, and that's because I think they get too much light up here. So even with the standard shade netting I have here, which is on all year, and this one, I have had some kind of casualties this year. Not many, not as many as previous years, and we've had so much sun this year than we've probably had before. It's been a lot more constant. Yeah, I've still had some casualties. Unfortunately, this beautiful one here is just burnt to a crisp. I was hoping I might save it, but I think unfortunately that is a goner. Luckily, I did head chop it last year, so I've got some pups which are living on, which is a great reason to propagate your plants. If you do have favourites, I recommend head chopping to get some, backup succulents, yeah, especially if they're your favourites. So it's a little bit dark in here, so I might move the umbrella. We're going to see how it gets on. I just don't want it to be blinding because the light is actually really good sometimes to get a really good look at the variegation when it's not quite as sunny. So I'm going to get my little step because I'm too short, and yeah, we're going to have a look over each succulent really, and I'll just maybe try and explain where they're from. I'll give you the name, and yeah, let's talk about the variegated shelf. So I would really take some time and arrange this to make it look a bit neater because there is kind of bits everywhere. I've got some brown pots over there. You can see I've got some gaps. It could look a lot better, but I've just spotted one which doesn't look very happy. Honestly, sometimes these plants just like to give up on life. So okay, that's one which is now rotting, and I'll explain to you why I can see that straight away and how I just spotted that. So I'm going to keep that to the side and we'll come back to that one. However, we'll carry on. So over here I've been using this as a just chuck it up here kind of section because I had a lot of new ones arrive this year. So a lot of these ones down the bottom here are all new arrivals and they're just rooting in the new pots. So this section was kind of a let them sit up here and see what happens as well. So it's a little bit messy, but like I say, I'm going to rearrange everything anyway, but you can still have a good overview of what's going on up here. So I won't talk to you too much about the non-variegated ones I've accidentally left up here, but we've got a beautiful unicorn poo here. That's its nickname. I will put on screen what it's called. I do have 2 of these. This is the other one. This one's looking very thirsty. So I find with most succulents really, especially at the minute because it's so hot in here, it's probably over 30 most days. If I'm watering them at the minute, they really do not like to sit in that water when it's hot. I don't know if it causes mildew and kind of boils them, so I just try and water them when it's a lot cooler, or I'll take them out of here and put them outside for a couple of days to dry off in obviously a cooler temperature because I was having a lot of rot, which may be what's happened to him over there. Yeah, so they are my unicorn poos, looking a little bit depleted and a little bit thirsty, but I always find with succulents you can treat them mean. You don't need to kind of mother them too much. They like to be neglected. Yeah, so that one does need water, but it's also very happy and they do plump up really quickly. Which reminds me, I've got a different version of this which I've left outside because I watered it yesterday, so let me just go grab that one. And here it is. So this is a longer leaf version of it. As you can see, it's still looking really thirsty. I watered it, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and I've just left it outside in kind of partial shade so it's not getting cooked in the sun. But the reason it's so thirsty is because it's made this absolutely ginormous and beautiful bloom. So it's got lots of little buds hanging there. I'm trying to, what's the word, germinate, pollinate it, just to see if I can get some seeds, because I've never done that before, so I'd absolutely love to be able to do that. So I keep pressing the wrong button on my camera. There we go. So yeah, that is a longer leaf version of the unicorn poo, and it's beautiful. It's variegated as well, so you can just see the pink tips on there, and the colours are just amazing. And it really does depend on what time of year it is to what colours these go. They can get quite stressed and go very, very pink. As you can see at the top here, I've got some pure variegated bits growing, so I would like a bit more green to come through, because if they don't have green, they won't survive. They need that, it's called chlorophyll in the leaves, and that keeps them alive basically. That has to be present. Yeah, so they are my 3 unicorn poos. This one's a new one. I might have to put the names on screen for some of these because there's no way I'm going to pronounce them. So that's a new one which is settling in now. I absolutely love that. I love the pink tips on there. It's beautiful. So I haven't watered it. It came probably about a month ago, and I've just put it in some dry soil and left it, and I'm going to leave it until it has a really good root system before I offer it any water. And then we've got my rainbow. So this is also a new one. I just like to have this as a backup plant. I find it can burn quite easily because the leaves are quite thin. So my original one is over here. Looking amazing. The colours on this, I just need to move this bloom. The colours on it are beautiful, but I said burn, and I've just noticed there is a little burn on this leaf. So yeah, they're just very thin leaf plants. They burn quite easily, but the colours on them is they're just amazing. So they are my rainbows, and they are a variegated pearl, which I find to be a very thirsty plant which loves water. So they are quite easy to keep, really. It's just the fact that they are quite easy to burn, so just be very careful if you do have one or do get one. These are down here kind of just what are they, experiment plants, I'd say. This one's a head chop which is rooting, the same with this one, so I'm just leaving them here to make sure I remember to water them quite often. This is a cubic frost which is variegated. I head chopped it last year and it's now losing its variegation, so I'm waiting for it to reroot so I can then head chop it again, because obviously variegation is very unstable. It doesn't always stay on the plant, and when it does start to leave, you can chop it. I would chop probably above here where you can see the last variegated bit, and hope that you'll get some variegated pups come through. But because it's still rooting, it's still quite thirsty, so it's not at the stage yet for me to chop it, but it's going to probably need to be done in the next month or so. But obviously it's lost its variegation, which is really sad, but the pups that have come from it, I've probably got about 4 or 5, so it's kind of worth the risk of doing as well. Just trying to see if I can find the other one, which I believe, is it that one or is it another one? Oh no, it's over here, it's a smaller one. So that is one of the pups from it, so it's definitely worth doing, because I've got a beautiful pup which is probably nearly as big as the original now, which is rooting. So yeah, that is my cubic frost. Was variegated, not so much now. And again, I had another one which was a head chop, and this just didn't want to root. It got mealies, it was just not happy, but finally it started to root. When I say it struggled, it then got burnt, so it's just had a really challenging kind of year, but it looks like it's now rooting, and hopefully it's going to start looking a lot better. It's very, very variegated, so I'm hoping it does keep some of the colour. But yeah, it's just one of those things, when you chop them, they can misbehave, but usually they do come back fighting, so hopefully this one will too. This is a new one for my collection. This is a Salu, and I just love the variegation on this. It's very big. I didn't realise it was quite as big as this when I bought it, but it's lovely. I've got the non-variegated form as well, which is over here. Yeah, that's another big one as well. Love that one. And then over here I've got some black Medibas, which are not variegated, but they're just staying up here at the minute just to root. And then over here, this little one is a Mabina. I had these in an outside arrangement last year, which I moved over, and literally they got so burnt, so they're doing really well to come back. I'm really pleased with them. I just find sometimes the sun is just so strong, and they just don't cope with it, especially with the variegation. It makes them a little bit more sensitive, which is why I'm thinking of moving everything today. The next to it, I've got a variegated raindrop. I've wanted this for years, and I saw them on a website when I did a big haul recently and was like, I'm going to get two. So I've got one outside and one in here. They're both rooting and both doing really well, but I'm hoping I get some raindrops on them soon because the variegation is there, but the drops aren't. So I'm hoping that is something that comes. This one is a pink heron, again variegated. You can see the pink kind of around the edges there, and yeah, very, very pretty. This one next to the salute is a minima. I don't think was the word then. Yeah, it's a minima, and I again have not had that much luck with burns. And this is a replacement one for one. It is doing all right, but I just wanted a bit of a backup. So that's that one. Love this Purple Delight. I've head chopped one of mine recently and it's got loads of pups coming, but this is another one. You can't really see the variegation because the sun is so bright. If I move a little bit, there we go. You can see the variegation there is perfect. That one, I love it. And I hope you didn't hear just my belly rumble then, I'm sorry. This one is one I bought and started to rot. When I import them, they are obviously sprayed with chemicals and things to make them safe to come into the UK, and it rotted. So I chopped it right in the middle. This was absolutely huge, and it looks like it is actually surviving. So this is a chimera, and yeah, it's actually coping quite well after the kind of rot and near close call on death, really. And this one is this. I didn't trust that this wasn't going to rot. I don't know why, I just don't have much luck with these ones. So I did get a bigger backup. I'm just hoping not to kill it, and I'm hoping it will grow nicely, and then I can head chop it to get some backups, really. So yeah, I'll put the name on the screen for that one. This one is also a new one. It's a Setosa. As you can see, there's lots of pups around the edge, and it's got really unusual variegation. I've never seen one of these, so I was like, I'm just going to have to get it just to see what it's like, see how it grows. So yeah, that's really interesting. It's kind of fluffy on the tips as well. This one was in a arrangement outside. I head chopped it and it wasn't variegated, but now I've head chopped it, the variegation has started to come through. I'm hoping you can see that kind of on the sleeve here. So it's not strong, but it definitely is variegated. So that was a standard plant, non-variegated form, which I've head chopped, and now it's become variegated. So I think it's sometimes the stress that can cause it. It's it's quite interesting. So I'm going to leave that and see what happens. And this one is my flamenco. Absolutely beautiful. I love that. That's a new one as well. This one over here is a cristata. It's not variegated, but it's just enjoying the top shelf at the minute until we do the move. Let's start at the front again. This is a saffron. Love this. This again is a new one, but it's blooming and rooting at the same time, so it's probably quite depleted, the poor little thing. The leaves are probably really squishy, so yeah, that needs a drink soon, but the roots aren't too big on it at the minute, so I'm just waiting a little bit longer for it to root before I offer it a drink. Next to it, we've got the raspberry ice. This is actually a double head, but this huge one is kind of taken over, so we've got two heads on there. Again, that's rooting. And then over here we have got an onslow. I've got a couple of these, really like these, and I've head chopped one recently as well. It's got lots of pups coming. These just seem quite easy to look after and really, really pretty. This one over here is a Metallica. I don't seem to have a lot of luck with this one either. So this is a pup from a head chop I did, but I've got two pups, so I'm hoping that now I've put them in a really gritty mix, they will survive. And then just one of my all-time favourites, the variegated super bum, is just beautiful. It's just so pretty. The colours of it stand out. The structure of the leaves is just gorgeous. So that's always a firm favourite, and I could have a whole shelf of these if I had enough money and space. So yeah, they are just beautiful. And over here, oh, this is my pink heron actually. So this one over here was a pink vera. They're very similar. Yeah, pink vera, and this is a pink heron. And this one over here is a Nixana. This is one I've head chopped, but it was in my other greenhouse and it didn't get quite enough light, so it has stretched a little bit. So I'm tempted once it's rooted to head chop it again, but I'll see on that one. I'm going to just give it lots of light and treat it nicely and then see what happens, really. Then over here I've got one which is called a Cypress Gold. It doesn't look very happy. It needs a little bit more water. I did chop it last year, so it's just recovering a little bit from that. But it's really pretty when it's at its full capacity. But at the minute it's looking a little bit, obviously when they reroot they do use a lot of energy, so they don't look that great during that process, but it's so worth it when you've got the pups and you're able to duplicate your favorite succulents. So over here we've got I'm not sure if this is a Lilacina or a Pollux, but it's a marble form of it. Very thirsty, but you can see the marble kind of patterns on the leaves there. We've got triple head, so that's another really nice one. It hasn't had water for well over a month, so that's definitely due some soon. This one is a Blue Surprise. The variegation on this is quite subtle. It's just around the very edges of the leaves. Really pretty. I've had a bloom of this year, and I'm trying to pollinate it, so I'm hoping that might be a success. This one is another Onslow, so I've got two very close together here. I just love them. They're very pretty. And then another new one. This is my Variegated Black Knight. So that is one that I've never really seen before, and I was like, I don't always love the black succulents like this Affinis because they just burn really easily. So I think what I'm going to do because of that is I'm going to move them to the lower shelf, where I absolutely love those ones. The form of them is just amazing, but I haven't had them before, so I haven't got a lot of experience with them, whereas these ones I do seem to, they just seem to die off quite easily, especially when it's really hot. So I think they just don't cope very well with the heat. But I'm hoping this one will behave for me because that was a little bit pricier than usual. I think it was probably about $40. So I thought I'd treat myself to that one. Variegated Lilacina, beautiful. I've got a really big one over here as well. I think it came with two heads, and that might be one of the heads that I've wanted to kind of root separately, so I've got more chance of survival. And I head chopped the big one last year. I've got this little baby from it, so I'm just hoping that will survive as well. And then we've got a Titubans. I love these. These are just so good at propagating. They're good to they multiply on their own really, and they're very pretty and chunky and cute. So I've got all sorts of them. I've spread over my arrangements as well. This beautiful Flying Cloud, so I absolutely love this. It's got some really light green with the white and the pink variegation, but again, these leaves got burnt in the last week, so they are not looking too good, but they will grow out, thankfully. It's just been so strong. The sun this year is crazy. This is a Sunset Peony, beautiful colours. Again, a little bit of burn. I've pulled that leaf off because that didn't look too good. If you get some which are really scorched, it's just best to get rid of the burnt leaves. Like these ones are not too bad because it's kind of a superficial layer of burn, whereas sometimes they can literally be scorched. So it's always best to remove the scorching if you can. It just makes the plant have a little bit more chance of survival. A Silver Star, I've got a couple of these as well. This one looks like it's growing some blooms and things. It looks strange at the moment, but yeah, it's really pretty. It's got really nice pointy tips on that one as well. The Casio, if you watched my variegated shelf tour at the start of the year where everything was very thirsty, you'll see how different this looks now. It's had some water and it's growing really nicely. That's a really interesting plant as well, and it does like quite a lot of water as well, which is good. And then over here we've got a Luella. This is either Montrose or variegated. I'm not 100% which one, but that's really nice. It's got some nice green and pink, and in the winter it goes such a vibrant pink with the stress of the temperatures. Very pretty, that one. This is my Butterfly Dot. This is a plant which is very thin leaf, so it likes loads of water. So I find it kind of not dies off, but it really shrinks throughout winter. It doesn't look very happy. And then this has had 2 lots of water recently, and this whole pot is all new growth. It's insane. All the old growth underneath is just withered away. So I find sometimes they kind of deplete over winter and go to nothing, and then they just thrive through spring and summer. So that's one that definitely does that, along with a raindrop. That's one that I struggle with through winter. This one is a Golden Castle. It's a new one. I just love the colour on that. It's so like, it stands out so much, doesn't it? It's beautiful. This one I'm going to have to put the name on the screen and move this leaf out of the way so we can actually see. And again, that's quite a new one, so it's just starting to root. And then over here we've got a Bradberiana. For some reason all of this side has kind of depleted and all gone to crisp, so I'm just wondering what's going on. I don't know if that side got a little bit burnt, but I have got some backups of it as well. I try and have a backup for every plant, but that's not possible, is it? So yeah, that's a really nice one, and it did look amazing until it got a little bit burnt. So what's this one? This is my Moon Fairy. So I head chopped this last year and it's doing really well, and I didn't actually get any pops from the stem. I was really disappointed, but I don't think the stem was big enough, so at least the head has survived on this one. I love that. And then we've got a Fun Queen Variegated. This is also a head chop, and I think I did get one pup from it, so that's good. And we've got Esther. I love an Esther. They are so pretty with that pink edging. And what else have we got? This is my Blue Heron. This had fungus last year. It could have been the year before, actually. Yeah, and I thought I was going to lose it, so I head chopped it. The stem then rotted off with the fungus, and the head survived. And there is a little pup somewhere in here. It loves water. It's very a very thin leaf plant. Just turn it around without dropping it. See a little pup forming in there as well. So that's doing really well. Another Titterman's here. I just like to have lots in my collection. They do get quite leggy even when they're getting lots of sun, but I think they just love to, they're fast growers, whereas a lot of my other variegated ones grow very, very slowly. So this one is a cristata variegated one, so it's very unusual. It obviously looks like some kind of underwater creature, but yeah, it's got that variegation on there as well, so that's very, very pretty. I find these cristata plants are really thirsty. They love water and they grow really quickly. So if you've got any, maybe just give it a little bit more water than you would your other succulents. This is my Clavatum, which isn't looking that great at the minute. It probably needs a head chop. Yeah, I had a few head chops actually by the look of it. Just needs a bit of a tidy up, so I'll probably do that in the next month or so. I've already discussed my beautiful Lilacina. I love that, it's so, so pretty. So yeah, that one is gorgeous. And we've got a Jade Star Variegated at the back there. Variegation is quite subtle, it's just around the edge of the leaves there. So we've already discussed my rainbow, but that needs to have a little bit of another glance at it just because it's so beautiful. And then dotted about, we've got quite a lot of these lemon roses. I had one that was like a tree and I chopped it and I've got loads and loads of pups and they are just beautiful. The variegation on there is amazing. So yeah, I've got lots of them dotted about. This huge bloom is from my variegated Jade Star in the corner. And then over here, what have we got? So that is actually another one of the one which I've just shown you, which is rotting. So that's really good. Obviously had a head chop and had a couple survive, which is amazing. It's always good because I kind of forget which pups I get from things. And later on I'm like, oh, I have got a spare one of that. And it seems to always time in when one rots. So yeah, it's good. This is my green emerald variegated. This one was a really tall succulent and it got very, very burnt about 3 years ago, and it just produced these pups before it all died off. So I think its will to survive kind of helped me, and yeah, I managed to save some little pups off it, so they're growing really nicely now. This one is just beautiful. I did actually put this on my Facebook, Instagram the other day. The colours of this are amazing. They're actually fading a little bit now, but I watered it and left it outside, and I think the stress of the sun has just made it go such a beautiful pink colour. It, like I say, is fading a little bit, but yeah, if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, then take a look at that picture. It's beautiful. So that is a Moon Glow, and it's obviously multi-headed, which is, yeah, one of my favourites. It's very, very not fussy. It's so easy to look after. I love it. One of my favourites and oldest is Beyonce. Yeah, I love them. I've got quite a few in my collection because, again, I head chopped them. And yeah, they're just so pretty. I love the colours on the leaves, just very unusual. This one is a Berkeley light or a Barkley light. I find this very easy to look after because it's very thin leaf, so it likes water, and it kind of glows, doesn't it? That white is just so white, and then the green on there is beautiful. So that's another firm favourite. Over here I've got an Imbricata, but that's a head chop which is now rooting again, so it looks a bit thirsty at the moment, so it doesn't look the best. I've got my beautiful Cubic Frost pup, which is doing really well. This Sarahheim is a plant that got burnt 4 years ago, I would say. And since it got burnt, it's then kind of changed to a little bit variegated. So I'll just keep it over here just to see if I can keep the variegation up. But yeah, obviously stressed that much that it changed to variegated, which is interesting. What else have we got? So over here we've got the Bane's Eye. This is getting very tall. This needs a head chop, and it's actually got a pup at the bottom there. And then these ones are all ones which were kind of dying off really, and I've repotted them. They're actually doing really well, so I'll be able to treat them to some fresh pots soon. So I've got some head chops, some which were really depleted or burnt, and they're all just coming back really nicely. So these brown pots are all ones which have kind of survived some troublesome times basically. A peacocky over there, that one, that is really pretty, love that one. We've got a scion. This again got a little bit burned, but it's doing really well. It's now got a little pup coming out of the side. This one's really interesting. I didn't like it when I first got it, but now I really like the contrast of the colours. It's very, very pretty. This one's a firm favourite as well. Again, the green and the yellow just stands up so much. What is this one? Oh, another Onslow. I've got 3 plus the one I've chopped. So yeah, that's obviously a firm favourite as well. And this is the Bradberiana, which I showed you over here, which is kind of half depleted. Got another one of that there, and a big cluster of them there. So I'm not sure of those ones. Thank God. Yeah, and then I've got another Beyonce over here. Again, they look quite different. That's very compact, and that one's very. The leaves are very long on that one. So yeah, it's always interesting how plants can look so different, even though they're the same, basically. This one got very burned, as you can see. It's growing out and it's giving me a nice pup. I just find out as soon as they get stressed and they know that something's wrong, they kind of try to survive, which is amazing. And this one is another peacocky. Over here, I've put a name on the screen. This one needs a very good drink very soon. Very thirsty. This is a Maria. Over here, that's a type of agavoids. That is an Angelinus. Love that one. That's very beautiful. Another Moonglow. Another Luella. This one is a Crisponi, I think. Again, that got burnt, but that's starting to grow out now, so that's doing really well. Some more Lemon Rose. Got quite a few of them. This is a Leopard. That's new this year. Love that one. That's really, really pretty. I think it's got a pup over the back there. This is a Captain Hay, I believe. This is very, very slow growing. I've had this years and it just hardly grows, but it's alright, it's alive, it's doing well. It just hardly grows at all. This is another Bane's Eye. I just love the pink and purples on them, they're so pretty. And that's one of my Mabinas, which I didn't think was doing very well, but it's come back really strong this year. So I'm glad I've got one as a backup, but I'm glad it's doing well. This is a new one. I think it's Monaco. That's what I got this year. Over the back, we've got a golden. Oh, what is that called? Golden Glow. That's the one. I'm actually making a reel on that of the head chop to show the progress of it because it's doing so well. It's got about 3 pups. This one I'll put the name on screen because I cannot pronounce that at all. And at the back, I've got another Purple Delight. Oh, that's the shade netting. Yeah, so that's a Purple Delight, which is getting a little bit leggy, so I'm probably going to have to chop that again. So this is a head chop which probably wasn't getting enough light where it was located, so it's rooted, but it's obviously etoliated as well, which is a shame. This is some pups of a plant I got last year. I have a lot which arrive when I'm importing them and they rot, which is a shame. I think it's just the chemicals that they spray them with sometimes maybe damage the plant too much. So these are the pups I've managed to save from it, and I'm hoping they will live on, so the plant that rotted will live on, because that was so pretty. This one, oh, I can't remember what this is called. I'll have to add the name to the screen, but it's kind of a little tree now. It's yeah, really interesting. And I think that is the shelf. I've got some which I've head chopped, so they're sitting in the other greenhouse. I've got a Lola, quite a lot more super bums and different things, but I like to head chop quite a few just to make sure I've got multiples really. So yeah, that is a variegated shelf. What is your favourite? What do you have? What is now on your wish list? I'm going to make this look so much better, and hopefully by moving them then I can make sure they don't burn as much, because when I get a burnt variegated plant, or any succulent to be honest, it is not okay because I feel like I'm to blame. So yeah, what is your favourite? I hope you've enjoyed the tour. So that is my variegated shelf. I hope you've enjoyed the overview there and being able to see all the names and different ones I have in my collection. Like I said, there's probably some other ones which are in the other greenhouse which have been head chopped, so maybe I'll do another one of these at the end of the year or the start of next year to show you a few more. But yes, if you've got any questions, let me know. What has been your favourite? I'd love to know. If you've enjoyed the video, please do subscribe, and then you'll be notified of any future videos. It means the absolute world to me if you hit that subscribe button. So thanks for watching today, and I'll see you next time.